The next value I want to talk to you about is faith. We want to ask big requests of our God and take big actions towards Him because He's a big God. We don't want to insult Him with small requests, right? He loves answering small requests, but He absolutely loves when we step out in faith and do big things for Him. So that's why we've made big statements when we say, hey, we want to plant 100 churches, and we're 8, 9, 10 going on, and we're just getting started. We're going to accomplish that. Sounds like a lot. We're not a mega church, but God will do it. And the other thing is to get 10,000 people discipled through our Navigating Life from the Cross discipleship program. Those are big numbers, even for a mega church, but this is something that we do here. We've always asked God for big things when we were just a small church and we had to move into where we were and we barely had the deposit, and God worked out the rest of the story and got us in. Then we had like 5,000 in our bank account, but we needed 80,000 to do the build out, and God just kept supplying just when we needed it. That next 9 months to get us there. Not like we had, even that was like our entire budget, man. So you ask big things and God will do big things. Which means we're open to change. If you're asking God for big things, if you're operating in faith, He'll oftentimes do things in a way you're not anticipating. And we're creatures of habit. We don't like change. But to walk with God, you have to have change. Look what He did with Abraham. Took Abraham out of his household in the Mesopotamian valley and took him completely 6 months travel time to a land he didn't even have pictures of, right? You can't surf the internet back then and figure out where you're going. Getting into the land, this promised land, and there was a famine in the land. God does things different, but it was a big faith step because it shows your heart towards God. And so we want to take these faith steps because we want to have these God moments where God begins to work. And as a church, we can do this together. We need to do it individually, but we'll do it together. So faith is what we look at. We honor God with big requests and faith actions. So we're open for change, for God to do exceptional things. And that may mean a change in scheduling, or a change in a service, or a change of things like now we're online. I resisted that for a long time, but society's changed, and so to reach a lot more people, it's a blessing where you can go online and do that. Remember, and you may not remember, but I do because I've been in church a long time, but people were only used to having organs being played or pianos, right? And then a guitar, it was of the devil, or drums, right? And then you only had hymnals, and oh my gosh, you had an overhead that was put up there, and now we have a projection system from a computer and stuff. And times change, things change, but the essentials of God doesn't change. But if we adapt and use those things, they can be a blessing. And so we're going to be open to change in these areas. And in faith, I could put this in a couple different categories, right? But in faith, I think we need to give generously to see God work stupendously. You give generously and God will work significantly, right? And generously may mean of your time, your energy, your finances, right? It may mean that you're using your wisdom, your giftings, your talents, all for God to work in a way, because as the body comes together, God brings people who have specific talents at specific times, have resources that they can accomplish the vision that God's given for the church itself. And every church has a little bit different gifting and talents and different calling that God may have, because He can work different things. And so in faith, you operate that way. And sometimes it may be that we give generously of time more than we thought we would, or than we anticipated, and you're blessed for it. It may be of finances. We should all be given towards God's work. It might be, remember, the wisdom traits that you have. You might have experiences at work, skill sets. I have a specific set of skills, right? You might have a skill set that you gain from work that is outstanding, right? like the scarecrow, you're out standing in your field. Sorry, dad joke's got to come in. But you can use these things to bless. And so this is all under the umbrella of faith. And in Cross Christian Fellowship, we value faith. God bless.